I love this because this is my grocery store. Hey you guys, welcome to another video. It's a little bit loud, we got the central air going. We live in the city, it's a little loud. Let's do a June garden tour, the beginning of June garden tour. I have most of my garden planted out other than maybe one bed. One of my coworkers is bringing me pepper plants. I didn't even tell you, a squirrel literally dug out my best looking pepper out of a grow bag. I have around 1,000 square feet of garden and some chickens. So I grow in my backyard in a small space. We got a little bit of urban homesteading happening. So I've got raised beds and in-ground beds, and I also grow, I pretty much grow almost any way you possibly could. I've got grow bags, buckets, pots. All right, it's also extremely bright and very warm. We're gonna have a glass of wine together. It's been a long day, okay? Let's get on with this tour. Here is our chicken coop, which is kind of right outside our back door. And we currently have five chickens. We have 3 hens, and then we have 2 pullets. They're being transitioned in with the big birds. So I don't know if you can tell, but we have that dog crate propped open so the little chicks can go in, but the thickens cannot fit. Hi, Daisy. I know, that's what I said. All right, so let's start by the chicken coop. We've got very sad looking pair of cayenne peppers. This is lemon balm. This is kind of a hodgepodge. I had tulips in here. As you can see, they're a little bit sad. I've got some catnip in there, as well as some morning glories that I'm trying to get. I thought it'd be kind of neat if they climbed up that. I've got some celery that my dad started for me. Here is kind of a basil bucket. I think that's a sunflower in the middle. Some potatoes. And then here we have, it looks like sunflowers. I'm not really sure what else. That's a sad looking tomato plant. I might have to move these grow bags because I'm not really sure if they're happy here, because they are, I don't know if you can tell, but they are kind of shaded out just by the garage and the chicken coop. So I don't know what varieties of tomatoes I have here, but I do have quite a few tomatoes. This area, the idea was kind of to have a kind of grab and go type of section. Our backyard's kind of crazy. The girls were having a little fun with the squirt guns. But this, I wanted to be a grab and go where I could just, it's close to my house and I could just come and grab what I need and go cook. These are some onions. My dad also started me those starts. Thanks, Dad. I have a sad looking peppers. This is my first time starting peppers and they're a little bit sad. So that's kind of that area. Next up, I'm gonna show you guys my raised beds. And as you can see, I have quite a few. I think I have a total of 10 or 11 raised beds. This is my herb garden, quote unquote. I actually got this bed on like Black Friday. So it's like, it was almost so small. I almost didn't even want to put it together, but here we are. So I have some mint. I just watered them, so some of them are kind of sad. I have multiple kinds of mints. This is my bay tree. This mint is kind of sad. I think that's the apple mint. And then I have purple basil, regular basil, Thai basil, parsley. This is a stevia plant. I have 2 oregano plants and then some lavender. This bed here is a melon bed. I kind of planted this with the hopes that the melons would just kind of grow out of it and just kind of can grow on the outskirts. So I've got 3 cantaloupe plants that I purchased at the farmer's market. And then I did plant 1 sugar baby here. I don't remember what's here. Does it say? Oh, these are like Moonstar watermelons. I planted seeds. We'll see what happens with that. This is our compost area. As you can see, it's kind of a hot mess back here. We've got a lot of burdock, wild burdock growing. And I want, eventually I would like to make 2 of these, but right now I just have 1. It needs to get turned and watered. So it's kind of what's happening there. This was our previous compost. Oh, I did actually end up putting more in it. I think it's mostly just chicken bedding. So if you don't have space to do compost, I just grabbed an old tote. I poked holes in the top of this and in the bottom, and then I just add compost inside. This is a cucumber bed. I don't remember what I planted, to be honest with you. It might say on the other side, but I've got some sort of cucumbers growing here and pickles as well. So we'll see if those show up. These are all just seeds. This is one of 2 garden beds that I have garlic in. So these are those 2 beds. I do have them interplanted. I don't remember what I planted in here. I think it might be melons. I'm not really sure. I have no idea, so we're gonna see. I'm very, very guilty of planting and forgetting. I've got some kale in here as well. I was hoping the garlic would kind of deter any cabbage moths. So far, this one's been pretty good. I have some dill growing in here that has kind of self-seeded. Got quite a few dill plants in here. And then I did plant 2 pepper plants. Got rainbow pepper here. Actually, they're all rainbow peppers. Next, I've got a sunflower growing here, as well as dino kale. The cabbage moths have found it. I've been trying to hand pick them off, but as you can see, they really like dino kale. So there's that. And then I have a chamomile that sprung up from last year, so that's kind of exciting. And then I have some peas. The peas in this bed didn't do super awesome just because the tulips, you can see the tulips are dead. They kind of shaded them out, so I do have a couple pea plants. She's probably so happy. Holy cotton candy buns. Puppy, you got all the cotton candy buns.
Dude.
You can, she's all frisky now. Careful. We could leave that for the little birdies to make their nests. Alright, so this is kind of an overview of that next area that I'll be showing you guys. These beds are kind of a hodgepodge because, as you can see, I have hoops over here, so I had greenhouse plastic on here, so I was able to grow in February, honestly, in these. In here, I have peas. I have broccoli that really tried to go to seed. I do have just a couple really small heads like that I picked, but they were really, really delicious. I'm hoping they will grow side shoots, but I'm not sure if this variety will, so we'll have to see. And then carrots. I've got some calendula and then some lettuce that pretty much bolted. In this bed I have a tomato plant. I have some spinach, beets, Swiss chard, carrots of all different sizes, another broccoli. Let's see, we got Swiss chard and some lettuce over there. And then in this next bed, I have a bunch of peas. I saw on Fairly Local Family's channel that she learned from a farmer that you can just basically kind of like plant a ton of peas and that they'll work. So that's kind of what I'm trying right now. I've got cabbage in here, lettuce, spinach, carrots. I have a couple sunflowers in here, cabbage. That's pretty much what's happening in that bed. Next bed, I have sunflowers, potatoes. Those are potatoes, as well as some onions. I did try to do some beets, but we went out of town for Memorial Day weekend and they did not make it. This is a potato bed, so that's why I just planted them, so the trenches are still kind of shallow. And this is a sunflower. And then this bed right here is the only bed that I haven't fully planted yet. So this bed is kind of my overflow bed. As you can see, I've got some overgrown potatoes. I did end up planting potatoes that looked like this because they were 50% off at the garden center. So hey, worst case it doesn't work out. No big deal.
Is this spinach?
I think some of them are beets. Why? Do you want spinach? Just take a little bite out of it and see. Is it good? There you go. That's lettuce. We're having burgers for dinner, so he's just getting some lettuce for his burgers. So as I was saying, this is the one bed that's not fully planted out yet. I do have some lavender in here, as well as some celery. Along my house, I did build an herb garden that is supposed to be partial shade tolerant. This is calendula. I have some borage with a chamomile in there, and then these are my chamomile. I think I'm gonna have to move them because they're not flowering. I don't think they're very happy in the shade. And then I have some dill. On this side I have some, this is summertime, and then I have some wintertime in the back. This is cilantro, rosemary, oregano, and this is savory. I have some chives that are struggling, but they're making it. And then some bells of Ireland flowers. I don't know if those will do well either. All right, the next area that I'm gonna show you is a little crazy. Here's our greenhouse that I'm not using currently because it gets like over 100 degrees in there, probably 110. This is my in-ground garden. It is full of weeds. It's really hard to keep up with the weeds in this garden, especially with working full-time. Let's see what we got. We have a bunch of tomatoes. I have to water it. They're doing really well for not being watered. I also have to pin some of these bad boys up. So to the right, I've got some flowers, sunflowers, zinnias, tomatoes, couple peas. Same thing over there, a couple peas. Pretty much these few rows are, I've got sunflowers on the outside and then 3 rows of tomatoes. I do have some things interplanted. These are marigolds. Right here are some marigolds. That is a very happy calendula. I think this is some sort of lettuce that's become a snack for somebody in there. Can you guys see it? There it is. Over here I have more lettuce and a basil plant that I can't believe is still alive. So just a bunch of tomatoes. I'm doing the Florida weave on these. And then over here, it's just kind of, I don't think I didn't mark down what kinds these are. Then I have a tomato in a bag right here, and this is a sunflower. This was a pepper. It was my best looking pepper, and the squirrels dug it out. Squirrels are the worst. This is my pepper bed, and as you can see, the squirrels also dug holes in this and tore out a bunch of my peppers. One of my coworkers, look at, wherever there's a pole, there was supposed to be a pepper, and the frickin' squirrels ate them. I'm super pissed about it, but it is what it is. Yes, baby. I didn't look. You should look.
There's none.
None? Ask Dad then. So yeah, this is my pepper bed. I do have some volunteer potatoes, so I did pull some of them out. I'm gonna have to grab that one out because I don't think that the potatoes are making the peppers very happy. These peppers are really sad. These are my squashes. I'm not sure if they are what they say they are, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's a long story, but I have no idea. Allegedly, these are buttercup squash, spaghetti squash, and a golden delicious. And then these are supposed to be zucchini. That guy does not look like a zucchini, so we'll see. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Not really sure, so we'll see. I am kind of trying to do a bit of a Three Sisters situation. Ooh, something in my foot. So I do have corn. I did just plant some beans, but I haven't really been watering them. And this, I have like a ton of weeds back here. Eventually I would like to make this whole area flowers, but right now it's just kind of, oh my gosh, that right there, that is kale. That is kale that went to seed. That's crazy. How cool is that? Who would have thought that that's what kale looks like? Well, there it is. Apparently it got a little too toasty. So Three Sisters is basically an indigenous practice with the Native Americans with corn, beans, and squash. So these are also some squash plants over here. Then next to that, this is a potato bed, a very, very happy potato bed. As you can see, they are starting to flower, which if you're new to potatoes, that basically means that they are growing potatoes underground. So that's very exciting. Got another sunflower, a very sad potato plant that needs to be watered. This is my sage that flowered. This sage is hilarious because I actually planted this in a raised bed several years ago, and I pulled it out and I made this in-ground bed and the sage came up. So there it is. Look at this sunflower. Oh, I can't wait. I wonder how big these are gonna be. Look at it. Oh, that's so cool. I think these are all autumn something sunflowers. Clearly I'm very good with my sunflowers. These are onion sets that I grew last year. Look at these suckers. They're growing like big dry onions in here, which I'm super excited about. I basically treat these like cut and come again. But I've just recently started harvesting the onions because my actual onions aren't ready yet. Well, these are actual onions, but my onions from seed. I have some very sad looking chives in here that I pulled the chives out of this bad boy because he doesn't do very well either. I think this is a volunteer tomato. I have quite a few volunteer tomato plants in here from last year. These are black turtle beans. So these are a bush bean. I've got some tomatoes that came up in here that I haven't taken out. And then these guys, I don't think I'm gonna plant them. And then I just have a bunch of buckets of potatoes. Next to that is 2 beds of onions.
See, Mom, I saved your garden.
Yeah, you sure did. Some of them are pretty sad yet, but that's okay.
Yep. I mean,
all right. Here is a bunch of onions. as well as celery.
Hello, guys.
You're cute, baby. This is a sad tomato. I think I'm gonna pull him out and put something else in there. He's not living his best life.
Yeah.
And then here I have a ton of volunteer tomato plants in here. I do need to kind of pick these guys out. Yeah, those guys are pretty sad, huh?
They're doing okay. Can I pick on the bottom stems off?
I don't know if I'm gonna plant those, but we'll see. My very last row is more potatoes. And then these are some bachelor buttons, which are an edible flower. As you can see, the weeds are out of control in this bed. I can't keep up with it. It just is what it is.
So it turns out since our strawberries died, we actually didn't know if they died or not. And then
Why did they almost die?
because we went up north for a long time, but technically they were actually going to seed. And then
No, they weren't going to seed. They were just really sad because they didn't get watered.
Yeah.
And I saved them.
And now
And then here I also have
they're starting to grow green.
some chamomile. But yes, they are doing really well, Winnie. You're going to have to take care of your strawberries, though. You think you can manage that?
Yep.
Yep. And this is kind of a crazy area. These flowers, I don't know if you can see them. I don't know if they're oxalis or clover flowers, but they smell so good. I kind of let this whole area grow wild, which honestly, I love it.
Flowers.
I love this area because it's just like wild grasses.
What about the
I
weed
don't
flowers?
love that area because of those stupid pricker plants. Those guys I don't love. This area is supposed to be an asparagus patch, but I ended up planting pumpkins in here just in case the asparagus don't come up. But this area does not hold moisture well, so I don't know if I've been taking good enough care of it. But that's the plan for this area. So that is it. That is my complete garden tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It is roasting out here, and I'm gonna go eat some dinner. The central air is back on. I had Charlie turn it off during the bulk of the tour. I hope you guys stick around, subscribe. I am going to be preserving a lot of this because we are a family of 4, but I love this because this is my grocery store. I do the majority of my grocery shopping back here. So, it's pretty great. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.